Hi, everybody. Welcome back to this channel. My name is Kim Copeland. I'm a retired hospice nurse and a medium. So happy we're talking about words today. We're talking about how words can help people in their transition process. Um, and plus it will help anybody, and also it can help with healing. It can help with so many different things. It's the power of words. We're going to be talking about the violet flame with Saint Germain today, and a hospice story. Also, I want to announce we still have a few spots now available, a few cancellations or 3 cancellations for the Chicago event coming up this week on Thursday through Saturday night. And so join if you want to. It's going to be Mel is hosting in Chicago with Linda G, myself, Kevin Lewis, Kevin Chandler, and Deanne. And I think that's all of us. And I'm going to tell you the number in case you want to call Mel's office. It's 847-590-5411. All right, that's for Mel if you would like more information about Chicago. All righty, so and I will be doing a talk on angels at the bedside and other sacred events that happen as people are taking their last breath. So that's and I'll be talking also one of the evenings about color and doing some color readings too in person. All righty, so now let's talk about the power of words. And the reason that this came up is this week during healing hour, I was in the shower before the healing hour, as I usually do, and I saw the color purple. And I said, "Oh, we've got to have Saint Germain in the healing hour tonight." So that's what we did, and it was powerful. I used the words of the violet flame, invoking Saint Germain with the violet flame. And there's several different invocations in here. This is written by Elizabeth Clare Prophet. I have been using the invocation I will say in a minute, over 20 years, maybe 25 years. And I use it for myself, as I usually say it in my mind's eye, in my mind's ear, my thoughts, but I can say it out loud too. And it tells my body it's time to meditate. It just helps me focus. I usually do the invocation 3 times. It tells my system it's time to meditate, which it does bring me into a more peaceful state. Now, I want to tell you how this, I used it with a hospice patient. So you know how some people seem to have all the luck and some people have no luck in their life. Some people have all the tragedies and the traumas. And this poor woman, her name Germaine, uh, she had a hard life. She was in abusive family parents, then she was in a foster home, then she did have I think she was in an abusive husband with a husband, and then divorced, 2 children that never visited her. And when I knew her, she was not bedfast. She was in a wheelchair in a foster home, and in a not since she didn't have much money, it wasn't the highest quality. They kept her clean, they fed her. The meals were um okay. It was okay, inexpensive meals, but she was fed and she was kept clean. And not a lot of activities. Most of the time she was in her room when I was there. She had pictures of her children in on the wall and her grandchildren. She talked about them all the time. Most of the pictures were very old, and never once, and I knew her about a year as a hospice nurse, that I had heard her one time. Okay, they came to visit. Her son came to visit. It turned out to have there was a lot of yelling. They had to ask him to leave the facility. So this just gives you an idea of the life that she had, not quality. But what I would say to her when I would come visit, and this is when she was still being able to sit in a wheelchair. Um, I would tell her this invocation. I would say it out loud, and she would repeat it back as we were going along with the invocation to Saint Germain. I just called it a prayer for her. I didn't have to explain who Saint Germain was. She wouldn't have known. That didn't matter, but she liked it. And every time I came, she asked for it. And it goes like this. Okay, and you just know, you just say, Saint Germaine, we invoke your presence now. Okay, and it goes like this. I am presence bright. Round me seal your tube of light. From ascended master flame, called forth now in God's own name. Help me keep my temple free from all discourse sent to me, for I'm calling forth violet fire to blaze and transmute all desire, keeping on in freedom's name till I am one with the violet flame. And we say it 3 times. I'll say it again. I am presence bright. Round me seal your tube of light. From ascended master flame, called forth now in God's own name. Help me keep my temple free from all discourse sent to me, for I am calling forth violet fire to blaze and transmute all desire, keeping on in freedom's name till I am one with the violet flame. And just for grins, we'll say it one more time. I am presence bright. Round me seal your tube of light. From ascended master flame, called forth now in God's own name. Help me keep my temple free from all discourse sent to me, for I am calling forth violet fire to blaze and transmute all desire, keeping on in freedom's name till I am one with the violet flame. And that's it. Now, as we were going along, and every time I would see Germaine, if I forgot to say it, she'd ask, when are you going to say the prayer? Are you going to say the prayer? Because what the thing is, you could feel the atmosphere in the room changing. And I always feel like the people who have had the hardest lives are the most advanced souls. And this is how I looked at her. She, she had nothing in the physical world, but she still had her positive spirit. And the last few months, she was bedfast. And she ended up having a very large wound on her coccyx. And despite her being turned, and what happens sometimes is as we decline, we don't absorb our nutrition. So our skincare really starts from within. It's not just pressure sores, it is also our ability to absorb nutrients. And even if you had taken all the nutrients, sometimes it just gets flushed out. And this is what was happening to her. And so she ended up with a pretty large wound, and also didn't smell good. And so then she would say to me, and she would be on her side. So when I would come in, and she'd be her face would be toward the wall. And so, but I would say, hi, Germaine. And she'd say right away, could you say the prayer? So that these words helped her through that process, toward the very end. And so I always think of her as, for that, because she pretty much demanded it every time. Now, as a hospice nurse, it's not my job to pray with people, but every once in a while it was just something that I felt called to do. And I don't call it a prayer, right? It's an invocation. It's just some nice words here. So that seemed to help her. And then during our healing hour this week, and so we started with the same invocation to Saint Germaine, and it changed the energy during that healing hour. And I also, now I don't think you have to have a crystal, but I do. My friend, my dear friend Alice gave this to me, and it is the Saint Germaine flame. I don't know if you can see, but anyway, it's nice to look at as a reminder, but it's certainly not necessary. But it did seem to make a difference in that healing hour. And we ended up going, Saint Germaine lived, I think it's around the 14 or 1500s, and they say he lived for 400 years. I mean, he lived a long time, never aged. He was a transmutation, specialist, and you can find his essence, his spirit at Mount Shasta. People go to Mount Shasta. There's a Peter Saint Germain. He has a YouTube channel. Many people see Saint Germain walking in the base of the mountain at Mount Shasta. So it's well known that his spirit hangs out there. And I think this week I was with somebody on a one-to-one reading, and we were looking at Mount Shasta. And because she was asking about Atlantis and her role in Atlantis, and then we went to Lemuria and then to Mount Shasta. And I got the information. Who knows if this is right? I can't claim it. I can't claim there's evidence to prove it or anything. But what I felt was at Mount Shasta, he is a little bit of a guard for between the humans and the Lemurians, between the worlds there. And also as a mediator between the two worlds. And he will know which humans, for instance, to allow maybe a glimpse into the Lemurian world. So that's what I felt about Saint Germaine this week. So that, I think, is all I want to say. But remember, our words are powerful. I always think, I wish I would have said how we all do. I wish I would have said it differently. I wish I would have been more understanding, more compassionate. What could I have done to be more kind, more understanding? I was thinking about that uh, when my daughter was probably 10-ish, and she was with her aunt, and we were visiting her aunt in Tennessee, and I was off running errands, and I came back and we were getting ready to run to the airport, and I just came in, Mary, we got to go, and I didn't even take a moment to see what my daughter and her aunt were doing, it was a bonding thing. They were either making cupcakes, they were doing something. And they looked at me like, you just barged in here and you check out, you didn't even say hello. You just basically, we got to go. And I feel bad about that now. You know how we do, all the little things we have in our mind that we, hold on to. And I know I need to let it go. And we all can do this, but we can still heal with our words. Remember that words are powerful. And I guess I will say one more thing. When I was doing energy work one-on-one on a table with a client on a massage table, and I would be off, one of my favorite things to do is clear chakras. And it's a lot of work to clear chakras. And you can do it for yourself, but you get kind of tired, your hands get kind of tired. And so I would do it. But what I would notice when I would find a chakra that was stubborn, and I was having a hard time clearing it, and it just wasn't moving. It just seemed to be stuck, right? And I can check with a pendulum how this chakra is moving. But when I would say it out loud, and I would usually ask for Jesus, please help clear this chakra. And I would use a little, well, I don't have lemon right here. Yeah, I do have a little lemon. Somehow, if I combine the lemon oil with the words, Jesus, help me clear the chakra. But I've done it both with, one or the other, but it seems to work the best with both. It clears instantly, especially with the help of Jesus. When you ask out loud, even though I can think it, but when I say it out loud, it's more powerful and it moves energy to a greater degree, for sure. Absolutely. So if you can, say those powerful words out loud. Kind, powerful invocation words out loud. All right, I think that's all for right now. I have another video that I'm planning to do about another hospice patient. I'll try to do that by tomorrow morning. All right, blessings, y'all.